New episode of the Real Life Podcast, a special edition of the Real Life Podcast as well. Tyler J, Bag Milk, everyone is here, and we have a special guest stopping by the studio as well. Oilers forward Evander Kane. Thanks for popping by.
Thanks for having me, guys.
First off, the thing that everyone's going to want to hear first, how you feeling? You doing all right?
Feel good. Yeah, I've been feeling good for a while now, so things are progressing nicely.
What's it kind of like mentally being an athlete when you hear like, hey, it's going to be like a long-term injury and you know, like, man, I'm not going to be able to get to do my thing every day?
Yeah, it's tough. I've had a couple lengthier injuries throughout my career, shoulder surgeries, out for 7 months, tore both MCLs. Those were longer injuries, not super long. Broke 4 ribs, had a collapsed lung. They told me 6 months. I was back in 2.5. So,
wow.
It's never fun. I remember I was in the hospital and they said it was going to be about 6 months. I said, no chance. I called my agent and I said, it's not going to be 6 months. But, and then they said, anywhere from 3 to 4. So, that was kind of the target date. And I think things are moving nicely.
It's also been awesome sorry to cut you off. It's also been awesome just to see you hanging out with the boys, like going out on road trips and just being a part of the mix too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, I love being in Edmonton, but it's also nice to get on the road and stay in that routine and stay around the team. I think that's really the toughest part with an injury. That's long-term normally is that you're not around the guys, especially when it's during the season you have this injury. So it's nice to be able to take part in all the usual activities off the ice, instead of, having my own schedule and then being a little distant from the team.
It's almost a year. You mentioned you love being in Edmonton. We're coming up on the anniversary of things here.
Big party.
Big party.
Should be, yeah.
When you first signed here, though, like there was some resistance from parts of the fan base, but now it's been a year and you look like Kane jerseys in the crowd, common. You get the almost McDavid level ovation, but you get a huge ovation when you're announced in the starting lineup. Over the last year, have you really felt like the love grow between you and the fan base and that relationship?
Yeah, I think, when I go back to last year when I sat down with my agent, we looked at the teams. I think Edmonton, especially at that time, really ticked off a lot of boxes of what I was looking for and what we were looking to do. And, I think for my first interview, I said, there's a lot of things that are being said. Just because it's said doesn't mean it's true. So it's been nice to be able to showcase not only myself, but get out in the community and have the community of Edmonton get to know me and me know them. And I think that was important. And I think from my perspective, things have been really smooth.
Well, and just to talk about community, you've been extremely active in the community in Edmonton. We've been seeing all this great stuff you've been doing. What's obviously you want to immerse yourself in the community, new to Edmonton, but what's the motivation? What gets you going on that? Because you're going way above and beyond, and it's making real impact. You see other players are active, but you just seem to be more active than most.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I think you guys getting to know me and the community in the city of Edmonton and the fans and whatnot. You see it for the first time, but if you really look back at my career, I've done all these things that I'm doing in Edmonton in other places I've been in. It's just when you're in a Canadian market, you don't get the attention on that type of stuff, or really anything you do, as much as if you're playing in Buffalo or if you're playing in San Jose. So this is nothing new for me. It's just and that was part of the thing too. When people are saying all these negative things about me as a person, and I know the type of person I am, and the people that know me know the type of person I am, it doesn't sit well. So it is nice to finally feel that love a little bit, but because I that's what I love doing. I love helping kids. I love getting in the community and helping out where I can. But kids for me have a special place in my heart, and now being a father of 2 kids, that's even furthered. So it's nice to be able to help out kids, especially in this community.
Did you have anybody growing up when you were a kid just starting to play hockey that kind of touched you in a way like you're doing with everybody around the city?
To be honest, not that I can remember. No. I think just growing up the way I grew up, as a black hockey player, my parents giving us and giving their resources to me and my sisters and everything they had to us, I think that kind of drove me to want to be the best and reward them and make sure that, I can become better than they are and give back to my family. So I think just being in a position to be able to do those things for other kids is important.
One thing I got to ask you about, I too am a sponsored athlete for our friends at Alfa Romeo of Edmonton. We're driving the exact same whips, you and I. It's awesome. But what I want to ask you about is Defy.
Yeah.
I tried to buy a hoodie. The pre-sale's on. My size, I'm a large. Selling out,
You're
man.
a large?
Yeah, I'm a large. How dare you? How dare you break the fourth wall like that? Yeah, I can't get anything though, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's I think they only got smalls left. So, yeah, it's gone really well. We're really happy about it. It's something that I've always kind of wanted to do. And this summer I had a little bit of time to kind of sit down and work on my clothing line a little bit. And, it's tough. It's a tough business. There's a lot of different brands out there. So I wanted to just kind of launch something that's every day, T-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, hats, just to get the name out there. And I think as we start moving and start building this brand, you're going to see a lot of different, more unique types of items and attire that you can purchase. But it's a good thing. I mean, that's music to my ears that it's already sold out. So that's good to hear. But it will be in West Edmonton Mall.
Looking forward to it. I need that cream colored hoodie. Yeah. That's what I need.
There's going to be new colors and different collections and different launches. So it's something I'm really looking forward to seeing grow.
We're talking style. We're talking fashion. Take us in the room for a minute. If you're getting dressed, I think you're the best dressed Oiler right now, hands down. My toxic trait, thinking I can pull off.
My girlfriend thinks you definitely every time you
think. What do you mean think?
My toxic trait is looking at the suits you roll up to Rogers Place and go, maybe I could pull that off. Definitely not.
Yeah, you can.
Outside of yourself, who's the best dressed in that dressing room?
Like if someone had to you need like an assistant at Defy.
I'm gonna go. Best dressed guy. There's a couple guys that could work. Like Leo likes to wear the sweater under the suit, which I kind of like. But I'm gonna have to go with the politician. I call him Darnell Nurse.
Oh, nice.
I swear he looks like he's working in Washington. He always has a nice overcoat on, nice suit, ties perfect, immaculate. So I'm going to have to give it to him.
The politician. We saw you, and obviously you won't remember this. We saw you walking to the arena in LA for Game 4, and you're wearing one of your fancy suits to the JW Marriott. And I'm like, who is this guy's tailor?
Oh, yeah.
Because this thing is just fit perfectly.
Yeah, Tom Marcatelli, Gents Playbook. So he, I met him probably 6-7 years ago now in New York City. And he reached out to me on Instagram, met him in the lobby of the Peninsula, brought out some swatches, picked a couple suits, and we just had really similar preferences when it comes to how we like to dress, how we like our suits to look like. He likes the big lapels, he likes it fitted. No belt loops, like just little things, high collars on your dress shirts, little things like that. Details that most people, especially hockey players, really don't care about, but I do.
Yeah.
And I think we just hit it off. And next thing you know, he's dressed in, I think, the entire NFL and a bunch of Major League Baseball players, a bunch of guys in the NHL now. So he's really blowing up.
How long have you kind of had an eye for this stuff? Like, have you always had it from right into the league, or did you kind of develop it?
I think it developed. I think, as you get older and as your bank account gets bigger, you're able to do more things. But yeah, I think it's something I've always enjoyed. I always like to look good, feel good, play good. So just take pride in my appearance.
But there always
Maybe
seems
not
to be.
today.
Hey, I was today's casual day. That's all.
Casual,
good.
yeah.
But still, I'm looking. You're rocking the cool loafers. Everything's still got intention here.
No, I know. It's either that super uber, almost below casual look for me, or it's that billionaire look. It's one of the two.
But the hat's nice.
The hat is good. Yeah, this is the Defy hat.
It always seems that there's one player on every team that shops exclusively up to top, though.
Yeah.
One guy who's like,
there's
way
always
below,
the one guy that just doesn't care. He just gets the suit because he has to wear one.
Well, that's the thing about suits and dress code in the NHL. It's just because a guy has something that looks like a suit on doesn't mean he looks good or looks professional. In my eyes, it looks like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's been a couple guys I've played with in the past. I'm like, holy cow! This is ridiculous. It looks like you're wearing a tarp. But so I never really understood the dress code. I think you should just be able to wear what you want, because if it was my choice, I would wear suits to games for sure, but it wouldn't be 82 times a year. You know, it might be 41.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, being able to integrate different styles and different guys' sense of fashion into our sport would only help grow our sport. So I think we're kind of limiting ourselves in a bunch of areas, but that being one of them.
Well, it allows people to show personality, and that's the thing that the NHL still needs to fix. You see a lot of personality in all the major league sports, and it's starting to come out more in the NHL a little bit, but it's still
We're
got a long way
dipping
to
our toe
go.
in the water.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So I'm glad you said that, because I always thought it would be way more fun if you guys could just roll into the rink wearing what you want to wear as opposed to wearing a suit. So I love hearing that.
Like I like in the NBA, you'll see guys sometimes rocking like an NHL jersey, right? And like that's you can be fashionable with it, like you said, rocking a suit, like different ways to kind of go viral.
There's tons of things. I mean, you look at a guy like Russell Westbrook, right? Guy's wearing a kilt one day, he's wearing a suit the next day, he's wearing, you know, a pair of jeans, something stylish. Like and he's blowing up in the fashion world, and he's being able to, you know, use that, right, to help grow his own brand. And I think that's great. And I think, you know, we're missing that in our game.
What are some other ways you think the league as a whole can maybe be better at things like that? I know we're getting a little bit sidetracked, but I do see, like, I mean, Travis Kelce's an NFLer who is always out in the media doing different things like that. Like, people who are fans of the NFL know his personality almost like they are best friends with the guy.
Right,
and we don't get that a lot of the times in the NHL.
No, I think it, you know, as much as it, the emphasis on terms of growing the game was on the league, it also, there's some onus on the player as well, right? I don't think we have, you know, you take 700 guys in the National Hockey League, there might be 25 guys that really enjoy doing this type of stuff, right? And I think that is part of the problem. So, you know, also when you're selecting who you really want to grow the game and who you want to promote, you got to go with the guys where it comes naturally to, and the guys that want to do these things, and usually that makes it better. You know, if you enjoy doing that stuff, it usually comes off better to the public.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to Defy for a second.
Yeah.
What's kind of the roadmap for the first year for Defy? Like, we've got the pre-sale on right now.
Yeah, so we got the pre-sale coming now. There's going to be a big event at the West Edmonton Mall in February sometime. Still waiting to confirm that date. The brand is going to be carried in 2, possibly 3 stores in West Edmonton Mall. And obviously you'll still be able to get it online. So really excited about it. Like I said, we're already starting to work on kind of the next phase of what the brand's going to look like, and doing a couple different collections and getting into the higher end clothing. So in terms of, you know, nice jackets and long sleeves like this, and doing possibly some denim. So really looking forward to it. It's exciting.
Denim that fits like the North American big quads,
yes,
playing hockey guy.
Well, so part of the brand and why I wanted to do it is because, you know, we're doing t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, hoodies, right? And a lot of the times when I wash sweatpants or hoodies or t-shirts, they shrink, right? That's just, they always shrink. And I have longer legs than most. So when I go, let's say, pick up a pair of Nike sweatpants, I know they're going to shrink. So you can't buy the extra long ones in the store. You can only buy them online. They're usually always sold out. So the Defy sweatpants, you'll see that they're longer. They're built for the athletic body type. You know, the hoodies are longer. The t-shirts are longer. So, you know, the sleeves, it's how annoying is it when you pull your, you know, you put your sweater on and the sleeve's up here. It's like,
I got to wear double XL because my arms.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So we've lengthened the sleeves. So those little details, I know they're just hoodies, sweatshirts, and t-shirts, but those are the details that I talked about with the guys at the brand that, you know, I want to make sure we have those dialed in, because I want to be able to wear it and wear it more than once.
Yeah, of course.
Are you totally hands-on when it comes to like the designs that are going up on Defy?
What I was going to say is, like, it's neat that you seem really like in depth with all
Like
this.
the
You're not just
details.
slapping your name on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I you know, it's easy to just print on a couple t-shirts and say what you want, but you know, there are some specifics that I definitely wanted going into this, and wanted to make sure that we had as part of the brand. And you know, I think if you're going to do something, you might as well, you know, be really involved in it, or else what's the point in doing it? So definitely a big part of what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Very cool.
Love that.
Am I going to have to be the nerd that brings it back to hockey?
You know you want to.
do it.
You've been sitting there patiently waiting for it the whole time.
But anyways, just talking about your last year in Edmonton and the process of joining the Oilers. Like you mentioned, checked a lot of boxes. One of those would be Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, other high-end skill on the team. What was like the hockey player part of your brain? What was the thinking coming into a lineup with those two? Were you like, hey, I know my style of play, it's going to blend well? Or were you like, hey, I might need to like adjust and change the way I play?
Yeah, well, I think at that time, obviously I've played against Connor for however many years he'd been in the league for, Leon, same thing. And you watch certain teams from afar around the league, and obviously being in the Canadian market, there's obviously more attention on those teams. So, I think obviously the thought process was, play with my skill set and the style I play. I knew kind of right from the get-go it would mesh with a guy like Connor, a guy like Leon, pretty easily. I mean, those guys they're two of the best players in the world, but, a lot of people don't understand. Sometimes when you have great talents like that, as good as they make others around them, it's not as easy to play with guys like that as you maybe think. You have to be able to play at their level and be able to make plays at their level and think at their level, or else it's just not going to work, right? And I think people sometimes don't understand that you need those things in order to be able to mesh well with them. So, obviously I was confident in my abilities. I talked to Connor a little bit prior to me signing, and I think the first game, obviously there wasn't that much chemistry. I felt like I was skating in quicksand. So,
Got that goal though.
But you scored.
You scored though.
Yeah, definitely made the quicksand feel a little less tough to get through, that's for sure. But I got one off the skate there and was more than happy to take it. But, I think after that all-star break there, it gave me 5 games prior to that to really kind of get in game shape, and then we really just took off.
Yeah, because that was a hell of a couple months.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. City was on fire.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you were on fire as well. Like you were almost a goal a game in that playoff run. Were there a couple of points where you almost just chuckled to yourself? Like, man, this is unbelievable the way this is going.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was obviously last year was a lot of fun. Getting to play in the playoffs in Canada for the first time was really cool. And obviously when you have success as a team and individually, it makes it even better. So, it was a lot of fun. It really solidified my fire to be back here with this team and in this city. So, it was definitely a big I
was going to say, like, the city in the playoffs is just insane. What did you make of that?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was...
Did you feel it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're not human if you don't.
Yeah.
You're going out for game 1 against LA. Guys are fired up. This is what you work all year to get to, right? So, that's, I think, what we're reminding ourselves of right now at this point in the season is wanting to make sure we work to be able to earn that spot this year and get back to being able to have that crowd in the building the way they were come the spring.
Looking at the back half of the season, we're almost at the midway point. What do you think's kind of the biggest task at hand for the Oilers kind of down the stretch here?
I think we just need to play the way we can. I just don't think we've had everybody going at the same time for long enough. And I think we have the guys in the room to do it. We have the majority of our team that we had last year back. We've made some good additions. And I think just everybody playing up to their potential at the same time. When we do that, we're a real hard team to beat.
We're also a lot harder to play against when you're playing too.
Yeah.
Oh, without question. Like, come on.
I had another moment. Sorry, just going back to the playoff run, because there's one other thing I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
Coolest moment of the playoff run, or one of them. It was up there when we did our countdown on Better Late Than Never. You throwing up the 7 after putting home the empty netter against LA. Yeah. And then you had people after being like, oh, look at Evander Kane showing how many goals he has. And
I know.
Like, did you not feel like I can't do anything right here?
Well, it's just part of this this agenda that certain people have on me, and it's just incredible. It's like, why would I have 7 goals? Like, it just made no sense. Like, we're going back home for game 7. Our season was on the line. Like, of course it's game 7. Like,
I love
the fact that people.
I loved it too.
Yeah, I mean,
I loved it, man.
Yeah,
I
just
don't know how you can poke holes in that. I'm like, he's doing it for us.
Yeah,
like that's like a signal to like
it was
Edmonton.
an empty net goal too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, it's like who?
Oh, it was so good.
Come on,
Because when I saw that, my
because they
thought
asked
was,
me that after the game too, and I'm thinking, what are you guys doing? Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
Was that for goals? Like,
My thing, I was like, I doubt in the moment he even knew that was his seventh
no,
goal. Like,
it
it's
was-
the seventh game. Come
yeah,
on.
like we're iced on the cake, right? We're going back home, so yeah, it was for Game 7 because those fans, they were something else in LA.
Oh, really?
And it makes it fun to play, so I want to make sure I let them know.
I love
we
it.
were there.
We were there.
We were getting into it a bit. Oh, yeah.
Someone threw a beer at your head in
Yeah,
game
I got a
3
beer,
or
a
game
full
4?
beer check at me in game 3 because you had just got the hat trick.
Yeah,
So we turned around and we're finding other Oilers fans in the stands at Crypto, and we're just cheering together. And then I turn around to sit down, a full beer right in the back of the melon.
well, I'll tell you guys a story. So I had 2 goals that game. I'm trying to think. It was in LA. Might have been game.
It would have had to have been game 3 then.
Was it? I don't know. Game 3. No, it was game 4. I think. No, it was probably game 3. I think it was game 3. You're right. Anyways, I scored my second. So I come out for warm up and there's a bunch of fans at the end last. I know you guys were at the game.
Yeah.
They had there's probably like 200 people, 200 fans on the glass. And they put pictures of my ex-wife.
Oh my God.
On the glass.
Oh my.
And anyways, I was skating around, and I see them doing it during the game or whatever. Then I scored, and then I scored again, the second goal. So then I went and gestured to the fans. Like, I forget what I did, but I went and gestured something. And the ref comes over, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, he was getting me. Like, I said, "What do you mean? What am I doing?" Like, look at the end of the boards, right? And he's like, "Oh, sorry." Like, figure it out. But and then I ended up having a hat trick, so that was nice to
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sends a
shove
good
it up.
message.
Yeah, it was
Shove it
I will also confess to you that you got that hat trick. I did arguably the worst hat toss of all time.
right into the glass. Or?
Oh, no.
No, I just basically spiked it like a football. I was probably 10 beers deep at that point, just fired up, man. Like,
And yeah, like if it would have made the glass, it wouldn't have been as embarrassing. It did
awful.
right,
2
yeah.
rows.
Terrible.
Oh, that was hilarious.
So who'd you hit in the head?
Nobody. The LA fans had all cleared out by then.
Yeah, that's true. It was
It was an Oilers barn at that point.
It was a celebratory occasion. I love it.
I appreciate the effort.
It's the thought that counts, man. I'm just trying my best out here. Speaking of trying my best, I need to ask you, who's running the aux cord? Who's got the music going in the Oilers dressing room?
Darnell Nurse has the music going in the Oilers dressing room. Currently, I have it going in the Oilers gym.
Oh, interesting.
Different flavor between those two.
He to his credit, he is a little bit more diverse for everybody.
You almost have to.
I'm a little bit more one-dimensional. I can mix it up here and there. There's a few songs I don't mind listening to, but yeah, I like to do it in the gym.
What's the vibe you guys kind of go for? Is it kind of like getting fired up for the game, or are you kind of chilling and kind of focusing on the moment?
It depends. I think like in the mornings, it's a little bit more mellow, which I'm totally on board with. But during the games, I think you want to fire it up a little bit more and get the energy level up.
What's rolling on your playlist right now when you're cruising in the Alfa Romeo from Alfa Romeo of Edmonton?
Of course,
Our friends.
it's a beautiful machine.
Alfa Romeo needs to pay me more money. We were just plugging them nonstop. What do I got going on right now? I mean, I got a little Drake. I do Future, Little Baby, big. I like a little Moneybag Yo. I'll throw on some old school like Lay Low or Get Your Roll On by Big Timers. So stuff like that.
Love it.
Not bad. Should we do our Edmonton style rapid fire to close this bad boy up?
Sure.
All right.
Boy, I better set up for this.
Been here for a year. Yeah, you need to get ready.
Oh, it's spicy.
Is it? No. Well, maybe. All right, let's get it going. Favorite spot to eat in the city?
Coliseum Steak and Pizza.
Oh, what an
Oh,
answer.
nice. That is a great poll.
Wow, that is such a good poll. That's good. That's good.
The teammate who you think could cook you the best homemade meal?
I was listening to a conversation he was talking about. He was going home to make dinner, so I'm going to go with Dylan Holloway.
Really?
Oh, wow. The young kid.
Wow.
That is surprising.
What do you make of a guy like Dylan Holloway the other night gets in his first scrap against the Seattle Kraken? Do you like seeing that from a guy? Because I loved it.
For sure. I think, you got to establish yourself in the league your first year. I mean, you got to create your own space for yourself sometimes, and sometimes physically engaging, whether it's fighting, whether it's hitting, you can open up a little bit more room out there for yourself, and it also sends a message to other guys that, you can't take liberties on me. So I loved it, and I think that's great.
And Vince Dunn to boot. Like, he's not afraid.
Yeah, Vince Dunn.
So it's good first Tilly for Dylan Holloway.
It was a good size matchup.
Yeah.
Good.
Been in the city for almost a year. Most surprising part of Edmonton?
How beautiful the fall was this year. Anyways, I was stunned. I was like, wow, it was really, really pretty. So
The river valley is so great.
Yeah, that was really nice for the kids and my girlfriend. So that was nice.
One word to describe the city during a playoff run.
Insanity.
Good one. And finally, you mentioned Coliseum Steak and Pizza. Have you had a donair since you started living in Edmonton?
No, I'm not gonna get on that train. I see them all the way around, all over the city. I mean, don't even really know what they are, to be honest. But just probably not my cup of tea.
So when you're in Buffalo, you didn't have a hoagie?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm a real particular eater. I won't
Okay.
say picky, but particular.
Okay.
What's the pregame meal for you?
Pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. Because normally we always hear it's like the pasta and chicken or something like that.
Pizza.
Love that.
That's great. Well, we appreciate you stopping by, man. This
Yeah,
was
man,
awesome.
this was awesome.
Picked your brain on a few
Amazing.
things. That was really cool.
Awesome. Appreciate it.